Okay, here I built my own propane stove cooking stand because I don't have money to buy a fancy stand. When I hooked up this hose from the large propane tank that I got today, I got that for, I had to buy an empty tank somewhere else for cheap, and then I took it to the Walmart to have it exchange purchase for $15 for full tank. That's how I got the propane tank. I spent total of $75 including the hose adapter. That's one-time deal. After that, when I do refill, I just take the whole tank to the Walmart and get exchanged for a filled one for $15. That's how it works. So it's a real huge saving. So that would be very, very cheap, cost efficient to get heat for cooking and heating. Anyways, I built this using cardboard type material, and I had to build one because I couldn't afford to buy anything fancy. Look at that cross support, keeping to add strength. What do you call it? Integral strength or torsional strength. Yeah, torsional strength, to increase support, to increase torsional strength, so that I can cook on this. I made legs too. Look at that feet. Look at that happy feet. It's got 4 feet. They are there to help prevent this thing from tipping over. It added stability. Yeah, I built my own. I'm so broke, it's not even funny. It works. I cut a hole here to run the hose through. That's how it works. Propane tank. I got bad news, guys. This shed is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's so cold. Insulation only helped 1 to 2% compared to not having an insulation. Only very slightly better. I've been freezing to death at night. When the temperature dropped, outside temperature dropped down to like, when it gets to 30s, it's a nightmare here. The temperature will get dropped almost the same as the temperature outside. It's only about 1 to 2 degrees better in here with this insulation. When there's no heat turned on, I mean, like when if there's no heater, no heater that is powerful enough to, warm up the place before you like turn it off and go to bed, this will not be able to this place will get very cold. You gotta have some sort of heat, large amount of heat to warm up the place. Then this insulation will help to retain the heat. It will keep the heat last longer in here instead of escaping like before I had insulation. And I don't have a proper heater. And that heater, that $20 heater, 500 watt heater is useless. Jesus gave me a trap. A lot of times God sets up trap for you so that you can have pain, extra double and jumbo and bonus pain. It's for pain offering. It was a trap that he set up so that I can have trouble. That thing is useless. It won't do a thing. If I turn it on, like on the floor or anywhere, doesn't matter. If temperatures keep dropping, the outside, when it gets cold, like maybe 40 degree Fahrenheit and below, that thing will not be able to warm up the place at all. It will try to slow down the temperature from going down much further. Okay, it will help slow that down, but it won't warm up the place. I've been living in about 40 degree environment, 40 degrees Fahrenheit environment in this shed. Not a 50, not a 60, not a 70 Fahrenheit like you would get in an apartment with electricity. I've been living in 40 degree weather in this shed. It's been nightmare. I've been freezing to death. I could not have a quality of life. I could not live here comfortably. I could not even watch movie on my phone because it's so cold. You can't watch anything. You can't enjoy anything. I spend a lot of time sitting by the stove, keeping the stove on to get heat, to keep my hands warm and to keep my body warm. This is actually about 4 to 5 times more powerful than that piece of junk 500-watt heater. This is about 5 times better. This is enough to actually bring the temperature in the shed up by about 4 degrees. About anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees. But it's still not gonna get you. It won't warm up the whole shed. It won't, unless you turn it up very high. But then it's gonna only last a couple of hours before the little tank runs out. That 16-ounce, 1-pound tank that I've been using. I had to use it very lightly so that I can use it for a couple of days per tank. Otherwise, it will run down tank so fast. I would have problems. Anyway, with this tank, it will be better because it's very cheap. $15 for refill. And that thing would last me even if I do make heavy use daily. That would still last me about a month. 1 month. $15 for 1 month is still pretty good. That's under heavy use. I'm still not gonna be able to use it for heating at night when I go to sleep. I don't think it's a good idea to leaving the propane gas turned on while sleeping. Anyway, so I've been suffering. I've been sleeping without the heater, without the proper heater. I need to come up with a solution, a better heater, something that is more cost efficient. That thing is terrible because it won't do a thing. Okay, it won't do a thing, and it takes up a lot of power out of my power generator. My power generator has to work hard just to power that little thing that doesn't do anything. It won't even warm up this place at all. I had to it gets worse because it's so worthless. I found out that you have to set it right next to your blanket when you go to sleep. Set it right next to it. Then it's just barely enough to keep your lower body some comfort without freezing. I tried putting putting that thing inside the car, inside the blanket where my feet goes, and it overheated. It burned up. It got overheated and it shut off. I thought it broke on me because it wouldn't power on at all. The outside casing, the plastic casing, it melted on the side. It's curved. It's melt. Well, found out that it did survive. Next day, that night is when I needed the heat the most, and it broke on me. So I was freezing to death at 27 Fahrenheit. This place got down to 27 Fahrenheit this morning, early this morning. Horrible. It's been a pain. And I found out that that heater is back on. It had to be cooled off completely, and the power cord had to be unplugged and plugged back on. And it's back on now. I need heating solution, guys. I need something powerful. I really miss living in my tent. In my tent, when I used to live in my tent last year, it was about 9,500 times better than living in this shed. Literally, I'm serious. I'm not talking two times better or 3 times better. It's 9,500 times better. Seriously. You know why? Because when I lived in that low profile tent, that snug pack bunker shelter, it kept all the heat emitting from my own body, keep reflecting back to me, because that tent acts as a heat insulator. And I had thermal blankets covered all around that tent on the inner side of the tent, because it's got double layers. So I placed that in between those layers, and the bottom too, under the blanket. And that even when the temperature got down to sub-zero temps, I'm talking -5 Fahrenheit, not 20 Fahrenheit, not 10 Fahrenheit, -5 Fahrenheit. I went through those temperatures last year, and I was able to sleep in my tent comfortably. I mean, it was so good. It was so comfortable. I didn't want to get out in the morning. I didn't want to get up. I just wanted to stay in there because it feels so good. I'm not exaggerating, guys. It was that good. Compared to this, that tent is like, I don't know, trillion times better. 10,000 times, 10,000 trillion times better. There is no comparison. That tent cost me $300. 300, sometimes 350. Price varies. And this shed is what? How much? I paid like about $2,700 range. If you guys want to freeze to death, get the shed. It don't matter you insulated or not. If you don't have a powerful heater, you're dead. You will freeze to death. It works literally like a meat locker, like a freezer. It won't insulate heat for you. You'll be better off just go outside and sleep. I'm serious. Go outside, use your blanket and sleep outside. You'll actually be better off. You'll be able to sleep about 1 to 2 degrees better than in here, because it's so freezing to death inside. But if you want to have comfortable homeless life, just get a tent. Just get a tent, low profile, low ceiling tent, and get some of these thermal blankets and cover your tent and under the blanket, and you'll be fine. You will actually have a decent life. It will be almost as good as living in your own apartment with electricity. I'm serious. It is that good. No wonder bunch of homeless people prefer to stay living outside. And no wonder bunch of homeless people still live in tents, because it's nice in there. It's not that bad, guys. It's not bad at all. I enjoyed living in my tent last year. The only reason why I wanted to get out of there was because I been tortured to death. I've been tortured, had nightmare from other homeless guy who had been harassing me. It was a mental torture. It was so bad that I was going insane. That's why I had to move out. I wanted to get out of there. But other than that, living in a tent is really nice. Even just setting up, set up a canopy. You will want a maybe large 12 by 12 canopy and cover all the inside, the sides with thermal blanket. And then you can set up a little tent inside it too if you want. You will have enough space to do all your needs. And you will have very, very, very nice warm temperature in there. I had a better temperature inside that canopy than living in this shed. If you wanna die fast, go get a shed. Buy a shed and live in a shed. Otherwise, it's not worth it. You'll be better off just living in a tent. Only advantage this shed has over tent is maybe during the summer and when it rains, because you'll be better protected from the rain and wind, especially rain and humidity and moisture. It will protect you from that. It will do a lot better than living in a tent. But then if you live in a tent, you can apply those waterproofing spray for your tent to keep any water from coming in, especially the bottom, the base. I don't know, guys. I'm very disappointed. Jesus set me a bunch of traps. He did this on purpose. It was all part of his plan so that I can be tortured to death for pain offering. Because they're trying to because Donald Trump is appointed to be re-elected as a president, and he will be re-elected. Doesn't matter what the mainstream media says, doesn't matter what they're showing with their fake fraud vote counts, which is all bullshit. It's fake. It's all manipulated numbers to control you, to trick you, so and to manage it for themselves so that they can make who the president should be. Well, God is against that. God wants Donald Trump to be re-elected. And in order for that to happen, there's a price to pay. It's not free. I'm sorry, guys. It's not free. You gotta pay for that. You know what? How to pay? Go through pain and torture. Pain and suffering. That's how it works. He will give you pain and suffering, long suffering for the Christians, God's children. He won't give pain to those who are not saved, because you are worthless. You're worthless to his kingdom. So what you're not gonna get any pain from God. God makes arrangements to torture you to death so that you will have tremendous amount of pain daily or sometimes every other day. You're not gonna have an easy life. So that's the price that Christians are paying. In return, Donald Trump will be reelected. Hope you guys take this message to heart and take this seriously, because I'm not joking around. All the things that I said is truth. Except for my complaining about this shit. Yeah, I complained. I don't care. I've been complaining in front of God. I told God. I've been complaining. I've been angry at him. This shit sucks. It's a nightmare. Every night I'm worried now because of this cold, freezing temperature. And there are more freezing temperatures to come. And it's going to get worse. It's what happens when it gets down to teens? Or when it gets to 0 Fahrenheit or below? How am I going to live here? I would need some huge, powerful, high-performance heater. Some massive heater that will literally burn up this place. I need super heavy-duty heater. And it would cost me a fortune. Not only to buy that thing, but to pay gas for it. Gasoline. Those take gasoline, don't they? You know, I would have to be buying a bunch of gas every day. And stock up gas just for that. How much is that going to cost me? It's going to be very expensive. This is a nightmare, guys. This is nightmare.